Hello everyone, welcome to this video, and in this video I want to show my pretty minimal planner slash journal setup for 2024. So these are the two journals that I will use in 2024, and I will introduce them in a second. I wanted to real quick show an overview of my 2023 planner slash journal, which is just a basic Moleskine journal. And this one was actually something that I usually would never do. It's a lined journal, and somehow I stuck with it for the majority of the year. I'm pretty sure I started in January of 2023, and I guess I just from the looks, I don't remember everything I did in this journal, but it looks like I started with a standard bullet journal setup, with also a gratitude log, and then I guess just different ways of doing weeklies. Pretty messy, and hopefully the new system won't be as messy as this one. But I've journaled and kept planners for quite a while now, and I've used the bullet journal system for a few years, and then I didn't, and then right now it's kind of like whatever I start doing, I just try to stick with that planner for the year, and I try very different things in that one planner. So I try not to restrict myself too much to a particular setup. But yeah, so this is what I did for 2023. Again, here maybe more like time tracking with tasks. February looks like I still stuck with a bullet journal type setup and gratitude log, and then I guess some dailies, it seems. And as you can see, this was all in pencil. And for 2024, it's going to be a mix of pencil and pen or fountain pen. But I did really like writing in pencil for pretty much here's some pen, all of 2023. But here is some pen, but a lot of it is pencil. And this wasn't just a planner. There was notes, thoughts, gratitude, some journaling, keeping track of daily tasks, work and personal tasks. And here is just another way that I used this most recently when I was trying to pick out the stuff for 2024. I used it to kind of think about what I needed and what what would be the most ideal setup for me. And then I did have a couple of blank pages, because actually one of the journals that I bought started with some spaces for December. So I wanted to get into that, and so I kind of dropped this one, November 29th of 2023, and so there were a couple of pages left. But it served me well, and I am glad that I just stuck with this, even if it's lined, and I think this is the first book journal that I've used that's lined, that I've used for the whole year. So I'm surprised that I stuck with it as much as I did. So I'm glad that now I have some different setups for the new year to test out. Now that I've just showed you what I've been using for the past year, and where I'm moving, where I'm starting from and where I'm moving to, I'll show you the books that I'm using for 2024. And initially, so before the new year, I think at the beginning of December or end of November, I discovered for the first time, which is shocking to me, because I've been using notebooks and journals for several years now, I discovered for the first time the brand Hobonichi, and I delved into it pretty aggressively, and I watched a bunch of videos, and I was on their website quite a bit, and I was trying to figure out if there was one of their products that would be good for me. Looking back, I don't know if this was the perfect choice, but I feel like I have to start from somewhere and try one out. And I was fluctuating between the cousin and the Techo original, and then just the size of the cousin. I don't have the size on hand right now, but I think it's pretty big and it's pretty thick. I don't know if it was going to be good for a catch-all, because it may be good to just live at home, right? But I use a planner at work like every day. So I decided to get two different journals, and I decided that the one that I was going to try out for this year would be the Hobonichi Techo original. I think this is the Japanese version. Yes. And so this doesn't have weekly pages, it has daily pages. So this was the one thing that I had bought, the first thing that I bought for 2024. And then I was in Europe, I was in Italy, and I went into the MUJI store in Milan, and I love MUJI, and I remember that they also do planners. And so what I bought from MUJI is their weekly planner. And this is not, they have one that's vertical with like a timetable for the day. I don't really need that because I use Google Calendar pretty religiously to track and plan appointments, so it wouldn't make sense for me. I mean, I could transfer them all over to the vertical layout, but I needed somewhere where I could write down tasks and notes and just some other things for the week. And so I bought this layout, and I will try to make out how I'm using it. And so these two will hopefully complement each other. And this one I will not be bringing to work, and I will talk in a minute how I'm using it, but this is just going to be strictly more of a personal journal, and it will not really include any work-related tasks or thoughts or notes. And this one I will be bringing to work if I'm going into the office that day, if I'm going somewhere else, if I'm at home. This will be by my side to track work to-dos and notes. So this is the what I'm experimenting with this year. I've never used two planners for 1 year, so we'll see how this goes and how much I can keep up with it. And then I will be curious, in the future, is the Hobonichi cousin for me? Should I transition from the MUJI weeks to the Hobonichi weeks? I did not like that the width was much smaller, so there's less areas. The area to write is smaller, and I tend to write quite big, or to scratch out things and rewrite them or whatever. So I think I needed something bigger. That's why I didn't go for the Hobonichi weeks. But if I find out that I don't need as much space, maybe then it's Hobonichi weeks and Hobonichi Techo original. We'll see. So let's start by looking at the MUJI weeks planner 2024. This one is in like a black rubbery cover. And actually in this one, I don't have anything. It comes with this cover, and so with this like pockets. At the back, I have this like just a couple of note like stickies, and I'll show you. I've used one already. It's in case I run out of space, in case I have like a one-off minute that I want to take notes on that I don't want to put in the weeks in this for some reason. And then I also have another product by MUJI, which is just their, I don't know what it's called, but it's a very flimsy notebook, lined notebook. And I just use this for like this kind of stuff. Like, I couldn't get my fountain pen to work. So and then some notes from like one-off meetings, or like, I don't know what this was, some serial number code, just random stuff. And this is not pretty, right? So it just sits in the back here and I can pull it out when I need to, but primarily most things will be in the pages of this notebook. So the notebook doesn't have many like frills or like extra pages. They have like year at a glance for 3 years, and then they jump right into a vertical yearly overview of 2024 with, like I said, the vertical months. And the way that, well, initially, as you can see, I wasn't sure how I was going to use the Hobonichi Techo. So I thought I was going to be using part of this as a tracker. So I can actually erase this because that's going to be in the Techo. So again, trying to remove like personal things from this one. And I want this to be strictly work or like logistic related. And that's why in the vertical monthly layout, I'm actually planning out like vacations, and or either for me or for my wife when if she's gone for some other reason. And that's just important dates like when our winter taxes are due or when Easter is. So I will have to continue to fill this out, but that's my idea for this look. And again, just for logistics, just to see what are months where we're traveling, what are months where we have a very important thing happening on a specific day, like knowing that the winter taxes are due on that day, so I can reference this, and for that week just make sure that it's in our purview. And then it jumps, there's no 2025, it ends right at December of 2024, and it jumps into a monthly view. And again, I think this is just an expanded version of this yearly view. So I will rewrite, and this is for December. So I do include December, and that's why I stopped using the 2023 Moleskine and started using this at the beginning of December. And so it's just an expanded version of what I will include in the yearly view with just a bit more details. So not only vacations, but if I'm off of work certain days, just writing down if we have people coming over for dinner or something, if we're going somewhere, if we have an event. So just a bit more details in the monthly view. And then on the side, I have monthly tasks. So these are things that I don't do on a weekly basis or on a daily basis. These are just things that I want to get done for that month. And so, for example, for the month of December, I was writing down a lot of this person's gift, my mom's gift, or I wanted to clean my car, right? So these are just things that when I feel like I have some time in the weekend or I have a lighter week, I can reference this and pull stuff from here that I want to do. And so I'm pretty satisfied with how this has worked out, because as you can see, I was able to get some stuff done from December or move some stuff forward to January. So I started writing, penciling, and some pen in the month of January. And as far as, I guess I can just talk a little bit about accessories or just things that I use in addition to the planners themselves. I really don't have that much. My wife got me this corgi page markers, and they're quite cute, and they're heavy compared to the weight of the paper, so it's very easy to pick that page out. And right now I have it only on the monthly page for that month, because for the week I have just the book marker, the page marker that came with the MUJI planner. So this is how I'm using the monthlies, and I started to do some February already just for vacations that are confirmed. And then if we move forward, and as you can see, the monthlies are all at the beginning, I can show you how I've been using the weekly section for using this planner. And I got the inspiration from, I think, another YouTube channel. If I find it, if I remember the name, I will link it at the bottom of this video. But basically what they talked about is a way of planning that kind of resonated with me because of the type of work that I do. I don't have, a task that's associated with a specific day, usually. Well, sometimes I do. But I wanted to be able to be pretty flexible with my tasks and when I assign them and when I do them. And so I am not using this left side as much. So that's kind of something that I don't know if it doesn't upset me, but I wish I could feel this a little bit more. And sometimes I feel they were like drawings or some, some other things. Like here are some notes, right? So I've done that, but on the left side, I primarily put just some key things, meetings are happening for that day. I don't put like work meetings here as much because again, those are mainly in my Google Calendar. But for example, if I'm going on a run at a specific time, or if I was teaching a class, at 6 p.m. on that day, or if we have an event that we need to attend. And then for the right side, like I was saying, I will write the days of the week, and then I will have a dot for just when I don't know a specific task is happening, or when I don't know when I want to do or complete a specific task. I have this dot here, and then here on the right hand I have the tasks. Okay, so when I write down the task, I then assign it, or best estimate, I assign it to a day or to multiple days, as you can see here. This was like a multiple day thing that I needed to do, and so it spanned Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this week. And so this allows me to be a bit more flexible in my planning, and especially if, for example, a task doesn't happen that day, I will just rewrite, the dot for the next day to try and accomplish on that day. And then, as you can see here, there are some tasks that are not as high priority, or or I don't know when I'm gonna have time or when I will want to do them. And so I usually assign them to this dot column, right? The ones that are circled that you can see here are just tasks that I did not do for that week, and therefore I moved over to the next week. At the bottom here, so these are all work-related tasks. At the bottom here I have personal tasks. I don't know, just random stuff like stocking stuffers. I have to buy those. And again, I'll try to assign them to a specific day for when I think that they can happen. But sometimes they don't happen on that exact day, so I move them over. So I've used this for a couple of weeks now, and it's working pretty well. And on the right hand side, so you basically can see I have 3 columns, right? In the third column, I just have notes. And as you can see, they're just like, notes, random notes that come up during the day, or sometimes I'll write them here on the left hand side. So there is still some messiness to this setup, but it's working pretty well, and I like the flexibility that this offers. Here's one time I used this sticky note. I was thinking about some travel plans that we had in mind, and I was trying to hash them out, and then some just random drawings to fill up the pages. This was very random. This was the last week of December. I did not have that much to do, so I was testing out the fountain pen that I just got. So now we're in the first week of 2024, and I'm not back to work yet, so this will get filled up soon when I'm back to work, and so on. So we'll see how this setup continues, but so far it's proven pretty good, aside from just the empty space here. I'm not really sure what to do about that yet. Maybe I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Since I mentioned the pens and pencils, primarily like I said, last year I was only using pencil, and I wasn't using a mechanical pencil. I was using I don't know what they're actually called, like the actual pencils, not mechanical. But recently I found this, and it worked actually, this Zebra Z Grip 0.7. I really like thicker pens and pencils, and so I like this one. So I probably continue to use this mechanical pencil. And recently I bought probably these are the most basic fountain pens. I've used the Lamy Safari for quite a bit, but I got this recently. It's the Platinum Preppy in 0.5 with black ink. So I will probably use a mix of the two or some other random pens that I find throughout the year. So now let's move on to the setup for the Hobonichi Techo, which is as equal. Here's the Hobonichi Techo, original in Japanese. I will want to get a cover, I think, for this. It's already like been here a little bit, and I recently when I started writing it, I already went to fold it because it does fold very nicely. So, but then I wonder if the cover will prevent it from folding so nicely. So we'll have to see. But I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, I don't know, maybe you're familiar with Hobonichi or not. But like I said, I discovered this recently and they're pretty popular in the planner and journaling community. And this is, I think, their very first journal or planner. They call them books that they have made. And they have a lineup of different designs and language versions and what they call an Albec version. Anyways, you can find them online and learn all about them. So they also have a year at a glance, and then they have this similar to what MUJI has, but the space is wider. That's why I liked that. And so you can see that because it's wider and the book is smaller, it's over multiple pages. But here I was thinking on the left in December, because I did not use this in December. I was trying to think what to use this for, and I regret writing this in fountain pen. I will probably put something over this, but what I ended up settling on is that I will use this for tracking. So like I said, I had this originally in the MUJI planner, but because I want this to be primarily work or task and logistics oriented, I did not want to put any kind of reflection, or not reflection, but any kind of like additional things into the MUJI one. So I will track things in here, and I used to track quite a bit, as you saw, like in January, February, March of last year in the Moleskine, and then I stopped. But I have been tracking things for quite a while, for like many years, and last year I drifted off, but each year I go back into it. So we'll see how long it lasts, hopefully the whole year. I try not to track a lot because I think that becomes very overwhelming for me. So I track movement, primarily I run, movement, reading, playing. I play a lot of board games, so I want to see, I like seeing that element, how much it shows up in our life. And then journaling, which is just journaling in this planner. And then I might also track spendings, how much I'm spending on a daily basis for the month. I don't know. We'll see. That again might become tedious, but we'll see. So as you can see, I'm not tracking any vacation, any logistical things in this planner. So I will continue. For the Hobonichi, they give you extra months. So you will also have January, February, and March in this overview, and I think also in the monthly layout, which is this one right here. I don't think you get daily pages for those months. No, does not look like it. So again, this is the month of December of 2023. So I did not put anything here for this planner. I did not start in December just because there are no daily pages for December. So for 2023, so it didn't make sense to me to start just this and not the dailies. But here I put what I wanted to do with the monthly pages for the rest of the months. So I'm thinking that I will use this for like either, so in each square I will either have like a gratitude for that day, or just like either a quote or like a one sentence thought for that day. And then I will go into more in-depth, like daily journaling, reflections, or memorabilia, or maybe journaling with prompts or not, notes or thoughts in the daily pages themselves. So what that looks like in, for January, I wrote just the first little gratitude sentence for the 1st of January, and I will continue to do so for the rest of the month. There is space here on the side, and I'll have to think about what to do with that. Maybe just monthly could be a quote. It could be, I'm not sure. I'll have to think about it. Maybe some decorations. I don't know. I don't do too much decorations or washi tape or additional designs. Mostly I will like draw if I feel like it, but primarily with pencil or with the fountain pen directly. So that's the plan for the monthlies in the Hobonichi Techo. And then here, well, so just backtracking real quick, before you get into the dailies, you have like these 2 pages, and what they've wrote up here, it says starting the page to a new year. And so to the left, I put just some reflections on goals that I had for myself for 2023. Sorry, I'm covering them so they're not super visible, but I mean, I don't know. It's pretty bad handwriting that I have, so I don't know how much you can read. And so some reflections on the previous year, and here I plan either today or soon within this first week to start thinking about goals for 2024, and they will live on this page. And so this I had drafted, the goals for 2023 I drafted on just loose pages that were tucked into the moleskin. So I pulled those out on the 1st of the year and just jotted down some thoughts on how I think I did, and what happened, what didn't. And I will write down goals for 2024 in here. And then, as you can see, you then have a page a day for the whole year, basically. And the way I plan to use that is that I plan to just strictly, write down thoughts, journal, like I said, either using prompts or just what's on my mind, or if I have any memorabilia for that day or for that week, especially if I'm traveling, for example, to also use this notebook to, to keep that, keep memories of that. So I did one for New Year's Day, the 1st of January, and I can already see how thin these pages are, because you can see pretty clearly, not clearly, but there is, it's see-through quite a bit. But I don't think I will get, Hobonichi makes like a piece of, I don't know if it's cardboard or plastic, to try and stop the indentation from happening, but it's kind of nice. I think it's gonna make it feel like worn and used, I don't know if that's a good word, pretty quickly, and I think that's a good feeling as you're going through a journal. So that's my plan for the Hobonichi Techo. There are some blank pages at the back. I'm not sure how I will use this. Maybe to track books that I'm reading, I'm not sure, or shows that I'm watching. They have a timetable. Is that the first thing that they have? Yes. The timetable that I don't plan on using. Graph paper, probably will not need to use that. They have favorites here, which is nice, so I might use this from time to time. I might use this for books or, shows. My 100, I'm not sure. I think I wanna look up how people are using some of these pages. And again, this is the Japanese version. I used to know what this page was. I will have to look it up, so I don't know off the top of my head. Recipes, and I think that's it. Some other things, gifts, addresses. So yeah, so you can see they do have some more fun elements or additional pages to compare to the MUJI Week's Notebook, which is pretty bare bones. So I'm excited to try out this setup. Let me know if you're using either of these 2 notebooks or something else, or if you think of any ideas for my current setup, or just share how you're using your books. And I hope we all have a good planning and journaling year for 2024. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.